But you're saying that God is...
Stop changing the topic. Just answer the question.
Because,
If you said there is nothing in the bag, because you don't know, would you be right or wrong?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have
Yeah,
the
we know.
evidence.
We have already established you don't know.
What I'd do is I would go and open the bag with this exhibition.
Okay.
And look and see if it's there.
So there is.
And if there's nothing there, then he says it's not something.
Yeah. So you need to open the bag to see if there is something there, right? Or nothing there. So it could go either way. It could be there could be nothing in the bag, or there could be something in the bag. However, if you said,
I believe in God not having...
hold on. I know you don't like God, okay? I know you don't want like that term. That's why you keep throwing it in all the time. If you said I don't know what's in the bag, then you're taking the agnostic position. Okay? That's what you're doing. That's all you're doing. But it does not answer the question what's in the bag. That's why I asked you. Okay, so that's why I asked you, where did the universe come from? For you to say I don't know is not the answer. It just shows you're taking an agnostic position. That's all.
If I wrote down a piece of paper, there's a banana in that bag, and I gave that to you.
Yeah.
Would you believe it?
If I saw there is a banana in that, then I'll believe
No,
it.
I'm saying you didn't see if there's a banana. I said, I'm going to write down there's a banana.
Yeah.
I'm going to give that to you. That's what I did.
Yeah. In the analogy of the bag,
So now I believe
in the analogy of the bag, can I answer? Can I answer? Can I answer with the way I want? You need to have patience. So you need to have patience. I know you want me to answer in a certain way. I'm sorry if I don't fulfill that need of yours or the requirement. No, it's not simple as that. No, it's not a simple yes or no. It is not. If you just give me on a piece of paper that there is a banana in the bag, I will say probably. I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say yes. Yes?
so there's some doubt.
I said this. Yeah, I would say probably. Yeah.
It's in a quantum state.
Yeah. But you see the universe. Look, the difference between the analogy of the bag and the universe is that we know that the universe.
Things on paper, and you believe that.
I said probably. Look, I've already given you my answer. If I said the universe exists and you know that the universe exists, you can't deny that. Okay? But you and I know that the universe cannot come from nothing. Do you agree? So what is the alternative?
That doesn't mean there's a God.
Okay, that's fine. What is the alternative? Give me a ration.
No, literally no one knows.
Okay. No, you can't say no one. Don't speak for everyone. You cannot speak for everyone.
No one knows.
You cannot speak for everyone. I'm sorry.
Because no one knows.
Okay, so you're taking an agnostic position once again.
No one now, who exists now, was there when it happened. They don't.
Why do people not know of this creation? Why? Why do they not know where the universe came from?
Where the universe came from scientific point of view, the physics isn't developed enough, sufficient enough to understand where it came from. Now you have a faith-based answer. I believe God created us.
Actually, that answer which you just said, yeah.
So there's a faith-based answer. I believe God created us. But scientifically, they don't know because the physics hasn't advanced enough. And it's not
No, even with an advanced physics, even with science, they wouldn't know. You know why? Do you know why? Because without time and space, science cannot operate.
Well, they say there's a theory that before the Big Bang, there was no time.
No,
There's another theory that says
but that depends. That depends on the.
physics isn't matured enough.
No, I don't think so, because if there is no time before the universe and there is no space before the universe, then for the scientists, they cannot formulate models without these two components, which are key to every science model, which, you need to have.
All these theories have mathematical basis.
Yeah, they all need time and space.
You can have no time and then you can have
Can it be without space?
I don't know about space.
Exactly. You need either one of them to operate. Otherwise, science breaks down. The fact that Stephen Hawking could only go up to the singularity, not beyond that, yes, is because he has realized himself that without one of these components, time or space, you cannot operate.
But there may be multiple singularities.
Even then you'll need space, my friend.
Yeah, my point is the model is not matured enough yet.
No.
Science is saying we're suspending
Every model, that's what I'm telling you. I don't think you got this. Every model that they develop, you need one of these components, time or space. You can't operate without that. Science is handicapped without that.
I saw in a podcast, Joe Rogan says there may not have been time. There is such thing as an infinite universe.
Yeah, but you're forgetting space now. Exactly. So go and look it up because this is what I'm telling you. It's not just time.
Have you heard of the infinite universe theory?
Yeah, it's not a theory. It's a hypothesis.
Yeah, it's a model.
You know why? You know why it's a hypothesis, not a theory yet? Because it's been rejected by majority of the scientists.
So
Anyone, and they have these different ideas that it could be eternal, it could be cyclic, it could be all this, but these are hypotheses. It means they are just a bunch of opinions out there. It's just a bunch of opinions.
doesn't mean 1,000 or 100 years from now they might not come up with something more concrete.
Okay, you know what you're saying basically? You're saying that in order for no, but science has limits. You have to, and they accept that. Science does have limits. For example, if I took, brother, just 1 minute, let me finish the point. It's like me giving you a tool, like a metal detector, to go and find plastic. Would you ever? Yeah, to find plastic.
Because the technology of a metal detector is not to find plastic.
Exactly. So it's a wrong tool. It's a wrong tool to understand the metaphysical. Naturalistic science only deals with the physical, and in order to observe and understand the physical world, it needs these two components, time and space. Without that, doesn't matter how advanced your science is. Yeah, it doesn't matter how advanced your science is. Without time and space, they cannot operate. These are the fundamental components for them to postulate any theory or even a hypothesis. Yes, they have to do this.
Then after 100 years they can formulate a good hypothesis that is exempt from time and space.
No, because we are talking about naturalistic
It
science.
doesn't have time and
My
space.
friend, we are talking about naturalistic science. What is naturalistic science? It has to be either observable, it has to be measurable, it has to be testable, it has to be conduct experiments, and there's no way you can think of any of this without time or space. Anytime. No, anytime, my friend. Anytime. Okay, you think of performing an experiment without space or time on any of these hypotheses. You can't.
Well, maybe in the quantum level, in the quantum
Even in quantum level.
Even in the quantum level, there's no time, there's no space. Things can exist in two places at once.
It exists in a quantum vacuum. That is not nothing. Okay, that's not nothing. Go and look it up. That quantum vacuum is not nothing. So even at a quantum level, you need these components. That's why I said it's handicapped without this, my friend. Doesn't matter how you look at it. So at the end of the day, we cannot say that the universe came from nothing. Okay? And for you to say, I don't know, again, you're taking an agnostic position. So the question is, what is the alternative? I would say that if you break it down to its simplest form, it's either from something or it cannot be nothing. So the only thing is it has to come from something. And in order for this something, it has to be, first and foremost, not dependent, because everything else you see around you, including the universe, is contingent. So it has to be independent. That entity has to be independent, which brought about the universe and everything else.
No, the guy with the cross.
Okay, give me an alternative then, go on. Because your answer is nothing. That's not really an answer.
Cosmologists don't agree.
With what?
They have many theories. I mean, I said one cosmologist say time may not have been around. I mean,
What did I
time
tell you about
time might-
hypothesis? My
time
friend,
he says
you're not giving me theories, you're giving me hypotheses. Hypotheses are claims and opinions of scientists. There's nothing wrong in, look, there's nothing wrong in having opinions. But until that opinion becomes peer-reviewed and disproven, then only it becomes a theory. So when you say something, they have to disprove it. So if it's not disproven, then it becomes a theory. But as soon as yeah, exactly. So these are opinions, my friend. You can have a million opinions. It doesn't mean it's fact.
Yeah, why are you insisting that there be proofs for that? But do you insist they have proofs for what you think?
Say again?
You're insisting that there should be proofs for hypotheses.
That's how science works, my friend. Do you know how science works? In order for a hypothesis to become a theory, it needs to go through peer review.
Do you have the same? Do you require that of your religion?
Religion is not science. So why would it? Why would you? No. Hold on. Why would it go through the same process as science?
You don't have proof, but you don't know.
Yeah, inference. That is the reason. Where did he come from? Yeah.
Did he say Boris is?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Religion are based on logic. They're based on your rationality. They're not based on like scientific evidence.
No. Religion. We use first and foremost for us the revelation is important. But then we also use, for us there's nothing wrong in using science in our understanding of the world because it explains the naturalistic world. There's nothing wrong in that. However, sometimes you can use inference to understand, like I was asking you, where did the universe come from? Okay, it couldn't have come from nothing. So what is the alternative? You didn't have an alternative, you said I don't know. But I don't know is not really an answer.
Literally the only answer.
That's not an answer, my friend.
Nobody knows.
No, you can't speak for everyone, I'm sorry.
Nobody knows.
So, first and foremost, the universe is here. Everything that begins to exist has a cause.
No.
You don't know.
You don't know. No one knows.
Don't speak for yourself. You don't speak on my behalf, just like I don't speak on your behalf. Very simple as that. So, if you are going to say that the universe came from where, you have no answer. The reason you don't have an answer is because you're not willing to look at the option that God could be an option, but you said that is not really an option.
Other things matter. People, the society.
By the way, why can't God be an option? Why can't God be an option?
I didn't say it wasn't.
Oh, so it can be an option.
It might be.
Oh, you see, that's progress. Earlier he was atheist, now he's an agnostic.
It might not be yours.
By the way, you just became an agnostic.
No, I've always been an agnostic. I don't
Okay,
know.
so you're not an atheist then.
That's what that means.
Okay, so if there is a possibility that God could have brought about this universe, what objection do you have against that?
It might not be your God, and also all of the things.
By the way, I think there's only one God.
Every single religious book is made up by people.
How many religious books have you read?
Well, one, a little bit.
and then you call that you call that logic?
Written by people.
So which book have you read, by the way?
All books are written
Is it the Bible? Which Bible?
by
You read the Bible.
Wow.
And you made a judgment. Wait, let me get this right. You read only a bit of the Bible.
All books are written by people.
Hold on. You read only a bit of the Bible and you condemned all the religious books in the world. How logical is that?
Are written by people.
Of course they're written by people. But one of them is revealed by God. Okay.
We believe Allah did it, someone says Ganesh did it, someone says Marduk did it.
Yeah, that's why we have to examine the different books. Because obviously the different books of religion, they all claim that they are from God. So for us, it is now imperative that we observe these claims, and then you eliminate the ones that you know have contradictions, for example. And that is one of the best ways to eliminate something. And that's why I said the atheist understanding of the worldview is always going to be contradictory, because it's based on your whims and desires.
Well, it is contradictory.
Was that?
When you want to
It is
study
contradictory, yeah, you're right.
When you want to study cosmology,
Yeah.
you study things like redshift, Doppler effect. You don't study religiousness. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
So you
It's
have-
science, right?
Okay, so when you're discussing science,
Yeah.
you discuss scientific models, scientific methods, scientific principles. You don't discuss religious. So you put those aside.
No, you don't. You don't.
Okay, how do you understand
Okay.
cosmology through?
I'm not talking about cosmology per se. There are certain
Talking about the origins.
there are certain principles, even in science, which they use in logic, in philosophy, and in science. Okay, take the example of cause and effect.
You're talking about the origin of the universe.
No, I'm talking about
This is a cosmological issue.
no. Cause and effect.
It's not a philosophical issue. It's not.
No. It can be used philosophically as well. Many philosophers did ponder about cosmology, did ponder about the universe, how it came, and that's the reason I brought in cause and effect. Cause and effect can be used in science and in philosophy too. Okay, and in religion too. There's nothing wrong in that. If anything that begins to exist, then it must have a cause. You know why? Because that shows that thing which began to exist is something which is dependent. It's contingent. So we know that everything around us, including ourselves, are contingent. Okay? But then we need to explain what brought about these contingent things. What are they contingent on? And that's where the cause and effect comes. So like I said, if everything that begins to exist has a cause, the universe began to exist, so it must have a cause. So now we have to speak about the cause. What is the cause? It's not nothing. That's a clue.
But it doesn't exist and nothing are the same thing. Right?
What's that? Say again?
It doesn't exist and nothing are the same thing.
It doesn't exist.
No, I'm saying doesn't exist. It doesn't exist and nothing are the same thing.
Yeah, what's the point you're making?
But you're saying there can't be any nothing.
No, I'm saying if the universe, we know.
The universe always existed.
No, it didn't always exist. Where's the evidence for that?
I don't know. I'm having as much evidence as you do.
But you're the one who made the claim, so you must have something to substantiate it. I didn't make that claim, you did. The one who makes the claim, the onus is on them.
What I'm saying
To provide
is
evidence.
if there's no such thing as nothing,
Yeah.
then nothing has to be. Then something doesn't have to be. Created.
No, I think you're putting the cart before the horse. I'll tell you why. We know that the universe exists, right? So it's not nothing. The universe does exist. We also know that it began to exist because the scientists tell us it is.
Began to exist.
Can you let me finish, please?
It was nothing.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it began to exist, and we know that it exists. So you cannot ignore it. And they say that it is 13.8 billion years, which means that it had a beginning.
What was before?
Before the universe, God.
This is God.
Yeah.
Where was he?
Sorry?
Where was he? Or she?
Where is?
Where was God?
Where was God? God was where he is. He doesn't need a time and space.
Yeah, but
What happened? Cat's got your tongue?
what was he doing?
What was he doing? That's none of your business. Okay, first and foremost.
You don't know.
What do you mean I don't? Yeah, I never said I knew everything about God. When did I make that claim? In fact, you made the claim that the universe is eternal. That's why I asked you, where's the evidence? Because the one who makes the claim, the onus is on them to
What
provide
I'm
the
saying
evidence.
is, and I'm not a physicist, so I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if there's no such thing as nothing, and therefore nothing, then you don't have to create anything. So therefore, the universe, or whatever it was before it was the universe, must have always existed.
No. Because you already said there's no such thing as nothing. You already said there's no such thing as nothing, and I agree with you. So before the universe existed, before the universe existed, it was nothing. That means it didn't exist. That's all it means. The universe did not exist. It began to exist at a certain point.
So there was nothing.
I think you confuse yourself.
No, you're contradicting.
Okay,
yourself.
say again.
You're saying,
What is that? What is that I'm
you're
saying?
before the universe, there was
Guys, sorry, I can't hear. Please, if you don't mind. Yeah. Say again. Yeah.
You're saying before the universe, that was created from nothing.
Did I say it was created from nothing? Don't put words in my mouth. I never said that. I said the universe began to exist at a certain point, which means before that there was no universe.
It began to exist, so what does that mean?
That means before that point there was.
What was it before it began?
Look, if you ask me a question, allow me to finish at least. Allow me to finish the answer. Before the universe, I've always answered the question, if you noticed. Before the universe existed, okay, saying that it didn't exist means the universe began to exist at a certain point. Before that, there was no universe. Which part of that you didn't understand?
So what was it before it was the universe? Because you said
It didn't exist. How many times have I repeated? I think people have understood. Maybe you didn't.
No, you.
Say again?
You're saying before the singularity there was nothing.
I didn't say nothing. I said God, remember?
Okay. No, I'm talking scientifically speaking. If you want to go to faith-based answers, we can't have a discussion.
No, but I will. You know, my answers are. Wait. No. My answer will depend on my worldview. Okay. So whether scientists ask me, can I finish?
It's not peer reviewed.
Yeah. Can I finish? So my answer will depend on my worldview. Your answer will depend on your worldview. Okay. I'm not going to divide my answer. If a scientist asks me a question, or a religious person asks me a question, or an atheist asks me a question. And that is where the standard is in my worldview, that my answer is going to remain consistent. You see what I mean? Just because a scientist asks me doesn't mean I'm not going to use the term God, just because he or she doesn't like it.
So there's a faith-based answer, which is God. You agree with that? I agree with that. I think God did it. Right?
No, that's your worldview. My worldview is the way I answer. I'm not going to negate God from the equation, am I?
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, go on.
There's a faith-based answer, which is to say that before the universe, God created it, right? That's what you agree?
No. Speak for yourself.
Okay, I think
Okay.
God created the universe.
Okay, good.
That's a faith.
What do you mean by faith-based answer?
Based on scripture, based on revelation, based on what I'm taught by my book, which is the Quran, which I believe.
No,
that God created.
it doesn't need to even be based on religious scriptures. It is based purely on inference. Okay? Because to me, look, whether you call it God, whether you call it whether you call it an intelligent designer, whether you call it a supernatural being, supernatural power, supernatural energy, whatever it is, I'm saying that there has to be a being which brought all this into existence, because we know the alternative is nothing. And nothing doesn't even exist. It cannot bring about something like the universe. See what I mean? It's based on inference here. So you can name it. Look, you can call it a label like God if you want to. That's fine. Okay? But for me, what I'm saying using this, this is called the Kalam cosmological argument. I think you've probably heard about it. That everything that begins to exist, which is like the universe, which began to exist, it must have a cause. And the cause, then we can define, after that, we can define what the cause is.
What if it was
What?
infinite?
Second?
What if it was infinite? The universe is infinite. It didn't have a beginning.
It cannot be.
There's some mathematical model.
It cannot be. The reason the scientists have...
There is an argument for an infinite universe,
But,
and it's been shown.
brother, I'm telling you why not. You asked me a question, I'm telling you why majority of the scientists have rejected that model of an infinite universe.
But there is still the model.
Yeah, it's a hypothesis. Yeah, it's the least accepted among the scientists. The reason majority accept the Big Bang model over these other so-called hypotheses out there is because these scientists also, using their own intellect, they have come to the understanding the universe could not have been infinite, because based on the redshift and based on the expansion of the universe, they realized at one point there was this singularity. Yes? And they say that it has to have a beginning. It cannot be beginningless. That still has beginning. Even with the multi-universe, by the way, that is also a hypothesis. Hold on. Even with the multi-universe hypothesis, not a theory, because no one has seen beyond our universe. So these are all just, like I said, all opinions. And opinions are neither here, they can be millions of opinions. They haven't even reached to the level of a theory, let alone a fact.
What was the universe made from?
What?
What was it made
Matter.
from? Matter.
Yeah, what do you think it is? Don't you see matter everywhere? Matter and energy. Atoms, molecules, energy.
It existed before the universe.
Okay, now that's another question. You asked me what is the universe made of. Now you're asking what was it before. Before it didn't exist. I've repeated this several times. I don't know why you don't understand. No, it didn't. Matter is not eternal.
You just said the universe was made from matter.
Yeah, because if you look in the universe, we see matter and energy.
So where did it come from?
God. I'm not going to be like this gentleman here that give a theological answer and a scientific answer. No, my answer is consistent, my friend.
There are some physicists,
Yeah.
like Sean Carroll, he's saying that there was big crunches and big bangs.
Yeah,
Big
it's a hypothesis.
And that could have gone on.
That's a hypothesis, my friend. It's an opinion.
It's also mathematical. He says we can do.
Doesn't matter. You know, mathematically.
So my point is, science is suspending judgment.
No, they are not suspending judgment. There's a majority view and there's a minority view, even in science. You know why this model that you talk about? The big crunch. Yeah. You know the reason minority of the scientists accept that model and the majority reject it, because even in science, just like in religion, there's a majority view and minority view. Okay? So there are hypotheses which people can bring in their own opinion. Scientists are not going to say we reject everything. Yes? So they will say, okay, bring your hypothesis and then we will test it. Once they test it and they have disproven it, then they reject it.
But that's not to say in the future that these hypotheses might mature into a theory, correct? In the future they might. There is that possibility.
You know.
There is the possibility.
No, here.
100 years.
Okay, hear me out.
You have to give that sort
Yeah, hear me out. Why do you think the scientists rejected it?
Well, they reject it now.
No, but why? Have you looked into that?
No.
Because I have. It is because of the second law of thermodynamics. You know what that is? It's called entropy. It's called entropy. You know what's entropy? Okay. So basically, every system, yes, you will find energy. When energy becomes unusable, then it's like, you know, like a top. When you were a kid, you played with tops, yes, and you spin it, and then it runs out of energy, and then it stops. Okay. They say that it's entropy basically. The energy becomes unusable at a certain level, and then that's the reason you have the system is not, like I said, in the case of the top, not as effective as it was earlier. So what I'm saying is that because of this, then you cannot have these cyclic universes.
But don't these laws break down in the quantum level? All these laws you're talking about in the quantum level, they can break down.
You know what is quantum level? At a microscopic level. We are not talking about a macroscopic level. The universe, it has a macro level. So you're talking about, again, different dimensions. Sorry.
The laws we know now break down in the quantum level.
No, it's just
So
because...
they're not absolute. So that doesn't mean in the future, 100, 200
Yeah.
years from now, we can have a good model that supports an infinite.
No. What you're talking about breaks... I'll tell you why. But I'm telling you why. I'm telling you why. You made a postulation. I'm telling you why it cannot be the case. Because this quantum level, what you're talking about, yes, maybe it is also possible that they don't understand it now.
No, they don't understand it fully. They know a little bit.
Exactly my point. So maybe in future they'll find the reason why these things are occurring from different places. Yes? Because right now what they say is that all this is happening in a quantum vacuum. And the quantum vacuum is not nothing. It is something which they don't understand it yet. So maybe there's an explanation in the future for it. But you cannot say that a thing as massive as the universe came from nothing. You cannot say that this big crunch and the cyclic... Yeah, so this infinite big bangs and big crunches, these are hypotheses. So these are basically opinions of people. By the way, you know, there are certain people who said that the universe was made in some alien lab. And you know where this was published? It was published on Harvard, on the website of Harvard University. Because they would publish anything any scientist would say. But they wouldn't accept it as a theory. Because these are opinions and they'll accept anything. So they said there's this, some scientists saw some big shape of this meteor in the shape of a cigar, and they thought that was actually the aliens coming into our universe, and they created all this, you know, like some nonsense, wallahi. Made in a universe, alien universe. Sorry, alien kitchen. Sorry?
Why are you smiling at that?
Oh, you think alien...
There's literally as much evidence of that than the authors.
What did I say? What is your understanding of God? You don't even have. You say, every time I ask you, you say, I don't know. At least I know that aliens didn't make us in a kitchen. Okay, and that's what I'm laughing at or smiling at. Unless you believe that.
Well, I don't know.
maybe a product of an alien kitchen, I don't know.
I'm guessing not, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you believe in aliens?
I think there's probably some sort of life somewhere. In the...
Why do you believe that? Do you have any evidence for it?
Oh, he's got another argument.
No, because you never said that when I asked you about God. You never said probably there's a God.
No, so
But when I asked you about an alien, you said probably there's an alien.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what you could have told me instead of saying probably there's an alien. You see what I mean? You're giving special pleading for anything except God.
Probably means you don't know.
He wants you to keep an open mind, basically. You know, there are some people that are saying this is a simulation.
Yeah.
We live in a computer program. And we're simulating
Yeah.
another alien species. Now that may sound ridiculous, but it does have some basis. It's not completely insane. You know?
Actually, if you ask me, that is completely insane because those people are not in touch with their reality.
You could make an argument this is a computer simulation.
What? Then you're not in touch with your reality, my
We
friend.
live in a very advanced computer program created in
That just shows that you're not in touch with your reality. If that is a claim that they're making.
I'm saying keep an open mind.
No, but hold on. Keeping an open mind could be any ridiculous thing.
I'm not saying accept it.
I think, look, my God-given intellect will not allow me to accept any nonsense that comes from anyone. So if you if you want to believe that you're a product of an alien kitchen, or if you want to believe that you're some sort of a brain in a jar, or if you want to believe that you're in a computer simulated environment.
Accepting is one thing. Keeping an open mind and researching and looking into things is something that
Yeah, my research and my intellect tells me that being in touch with reality would actually exclude those kind of doubts you have. A computer simulation, a brain in a jar, a product of aliens. I mean, come on, where does it end? Where do you draw the line about sanity then?
But some people would use that phrase in touch with reality about religious people.
What? People like you?
No, I wouldn't.
Well, it just shows, look, it just shows,
I would say
if,
I don't.
you know, look, there are certain people out there where their religious understanding is like believing that in aliens, for example. So if that is their religion, then I would say yes, they have lost touch with their reality.
So you don't believe in aliens?
No, I don't believe in aliens creating me. I mean, look, there's a possibility.
Hold on, you don't believe in aliens?
No, I wouldn't say that. I said there's probably aliens. I wouldn't completely say there's no aliens. Because right now, I have nothing in my religion which says that there's no aliens.
You don't know.
No, I said about creation.
Go on.
We were talking about creation.
You don't know. Go on, say it.
Say what?
So.
Yeah, I don't know if they're aliens or not.
Good.
So what's that? Wait. How is that different to me saying there's probably aliens?
No, you said that to me.
I wish you said that about God.
No, I
That
said
probably there is a God.
aliens.
I wish you said that. Then we would be on the same level.
You said you don't know about aliens.
Yeah, I don't.
Could you hypothesize that maybe we've been genetically engineered by aliens, like or a higher species? Why not?
Look, you can, if you want to. No, hold on. Look, if you want to believe that.
No. I'm not saying believe it. Believing it. I'm saying something you can entertain, something you can sort of.
First and foremost. Wait. First and foremost, before you say that I'm genetically modified by the alien, I need to first.
Genetically engineered by
Yeah,
higher.
modified, engineered, semantics. Yeah, I need to first believe an alien, right?
You said you don't.
Exactly. Which means that I don't believe it. Which means there's a problem. No, hold on. Come on, hold on. If I say I don't know, it doesn't mean. Sorry. I said wait, but
You don't know.
no, I said probably there are aliens. These are the exact words I used. Yes.
You don't know.
Yeah. So if I don't know, that means first I need to know for certain before I start believing. I need to start before I start believing that they have. You know, first the aliens need to exist before I believe that they acted on anything. You see what I mean?
No,
You
I'm
know,
saying
human imagination is such that you can claim anything. You can think of anything. You can dream of anything.
It's also what made us evolve and develop is imagination.
Well, I don't think I'm evolved. I think I was made like that.
No, like
I don't know about you.
How did we develop? When scientists came, they said,
I don't think I've evolved. I think I'm a human from the very beginning,
when
including my generations before me, including the first man, Adam. If you guys came from chimpanzees or apes, I don't know about your ancestors, but my ancestors were definitely human.
Galileo said the sun orbits around the Earth, they thought he was insane. They thought it was crazy until he was proven to be right over time.
And
So it's okay and it's good to have an open mind, to research other things,
no, but look,
to entertain other things, but not believe. No,
hear me out. Muslims, alhamdulillah, had never problem being with open mind. Some of the earliest Muslims, they did experiments and they discovered things, you know.
So why
Ibn
do you love
Haytham, because what you're saying is insane. It's why? Like I said, would you believe everything you hear?
I didn't say believe.
Okay.
It's something to
Then I wouldn't believe it either. That's what I said, my friend. What's the difference between you and me? Nothing. No, open mind. Wait. Open mind means you believe it, right?
No, it doesn't.
Then what does it mean?
It means you can read about it, research it, you don't necessarily have to believe it.
Okay.
I can read the Bible, I can read science fiction books, I can read what's
So-
Star
so-
Wars, Star Trek,
Yeah.
just to see.
Okay. So by you seeing it, what does that mean? What does it mean? For you reading fiction, watching fiction, what does it mean? It just means you entertain yourself with these things. But then the question still remains. Wait. The question still remains. By seeing this fiction and by reading fiction and watching fiction, what does it mean? It just means you enjoy fiction, right? But how does that relate to the reality? That was my question. All I'm saying is that if you start mixing fiction with reality, then I think that brings in the question about your sanity as well.
Fiction is, when you write fiction, you're in the real world. It's derived from reality.
So why do you call it fiction then? Why do you call it fiction then?
Arts, literature, these are all fiction, but they're derived.
But why does the library have a special section for fiction? Why?
It's fiction, but it's derived.
Okay. And what is the meaning of fiction?
Not real.
Thank you. I rest my case. That's what I've been telling him. That this is what differentiates reality from fiction. And the reason you still call it fiction is because we haven't actually, we haven't categorized it as reality, because it's not reality. And the reason, you know what, there wouldn't be any difference between people who are sane and insane if you're going to keep such an open mind to accept all unreality. You see what I mean? The reason that psychologists have diagnosed them as being insane and they put them in an asylum is because they have lost touch. Not because the doctors are saying, oh my goodness, the guy's got an open mind. Let's come on, guys, let's come down back to earth. Forget about the aliens, forget about the fiction, the reality. No, you guys started with the aliens. I gave you the example of what people will publish. Even Harvard University on their website will publish any professor who says that he will believe in some cigar-shaped meteor, which is actually one of the spaceships of the aliens who manufactured us, humankind, in their lab, or sorry, in the lab or in the kitchen or wherever.
Would say that you believe in that cigar-shaped meteor.
No, this professor.
People would say that you believe in that cigar-shaped meteor.
Don't put words in my mouth. You have a habit of doing that.
No, I'm not putting words. I'm saying some people.
Okay, I don't believe it. I've told you categorically. If they believe it, then they, like I said, they have lost touch with reality. Because when you start bringing fiction into your real world and start believing that, then there is where the insanity becomes insanity. Okay, define fictitious. Because I wouldn't call miracles and fiction the same. Miracle is something that science cannot prove or science cannot explain. A miraculous phenomenon, in fact, there are many miraculous phenomena that happen in the universe all the time. And that's the reason they call it a phenomenon which they cannot explain. To me, that is what a miracle is. But if something is a fiction, then it is not even real. That alone, you cannot explain it. Are you with me?
So a miracle can't be fiction?
No. A miracle is something, by definition, which science cannot explain, which we in our naturalistic world cannot explain. Because if you could explain it, then it wouldn't be a miracle. And that's why you have to distinguish between a fiction and miracle. One can happen in real life, in real world, but you can't explain it. Fiction is not even real. Second?
Describe a miracle.
The universe is a miracle. I think you're a miracle. Yeah. Can anyone create you?
It's a physical process. There's an explanation.
What is the physical process for the universe to come into existence? You can't.
Something that can't be explained. So
Okay, explain to me how the first cell came into being.
No, I've asked you.
What?
I've asked you to describe a miracle that's happened.
I just told you yourself.
No, it's not a miracle because there's a
Okay, let me break it down to the simplest form.
Origin of life?
Yeah. So origin of life, which is abiogenesis. If you have studied that, you will realize that the first cell, they cannot explain how it came into being. And to me, that is a miracle itself.
It's a miracle now. You're saying there's miracles.
Yeah. So cells, do cells exist?
The abiogenesis, the first experiment, the Miller-Urey experiment, says that the origin of life is basic amino acids.
Yeah.
And they were caused by having sunlight and some sort of cosmic soup that existed within a cosmic soup, lighting, and then that's where the first...
You believe that?
That's where the first amino acids were.
No, but you actually believe that?
It's a scientific experiment.
I know it's an experiment, but did they actually produce something from nothing?
No, it's not from nothing. It's from a cosmic soup. It's from a soup, basically a soup. Chemical processes, lightning, a certain atmosphere. You can recreate it in a lab, and you can produce amino acids. That's all you can do. And they say that
amino acids doesn't explain. Okay.
But they say that's the basic unit of.
Many people said that these things came from space as well. Yeah. So there are different theories about this, but the point still remains. You know, if you look at the simplest cell. Yes, any cell.
No, some cells are very complex.
I know, but it's still a single cell.
Amino acids are the first.
In fact, even
first
even amino acids are complex. They're not something which is simple.
And then you can produce them in a lab.
I don't think so.
You can.
No.
Look up Miller-Urey experiments.
Yeah. So it's not from nothing. It's from something. Yeah. So maybe there are. So these processes which you talk about are still taking place in a lab which is controlled experiment, right?
Yeah.
But when we look at, okay, hear me out. When we look at the early Earth, it wasn't a controlled lab. Okay, so we cannot. This is false equivalence. If you think a controlled lab experiment is the same as a natural process in the early stages of the Earth, then it's not the same, my friend.
They recreated the early state of the Earth.
They have never seen the early process, have they?
They know what it was.
How did they know?
You need water, first of all. You need light, you need certain chemical processes to take place, and you can produce amino acids.
Yeah, in a controlled lab environment. I keep telling you this. Which is not a replication of the early Earth. I'm sorry to say this. A control experiment. Hold on. A control experiment is not the same as how the early Earth was. There's no way. Okay? How do I know? Because when I say control, it means what you do is you bring certain elements in a controlled lab. That means you must have the right temperature, the right elements that you're using, the raw materials, everything is already there. How did they know that was the case back then? By chance. You see what I mean? Look, my friend, it doesn't matter how you look at it. The point is, by the way, I like the way you said the cell is a complex thing. Yes, it is. The cell is so complex that it has its own, its own generator, like the mitochondria. Yes, which gives us energy. It's all inbuilt into this single cell. You don't think that's a miracle to come about by itself, by chance, like you said? There you go. If it came by chance, that's a miracle to me.
You have to study abiogenesis, right? Abiogenesis experiments say that the first building blocks of life were amino acids.
Yeah,
and then over time, they evolved into cells. Millions of years.
No, but look, this is jumping. Honestly, this is a leap of faith to say that amino acids in a controlled environment automatically led to first cell. You know, it's too much. There's a lot of things which just come about by chance. It is basically, you know, it is more complex than me saying that a jet come about by itself from the junkyard. It is more complex than that. You see what I mean? So anyone who tells me that this leaps of faith by scientists, that is how, you know, they are just trying to explain things. One thing I've noticed about scientists is that they are willing to accept everything except God. Except God. And that's the reason even scientists who bring into the equation God, they are actually rejected from their fields at universities. They will be actually, you know, just chucked out. Because this is a prejudice they have against, they have a prejudice against people who believe in God. This is quite natural in all major universities.
A lot of scientists like they do believe in God, but they don't think they have, he has a direct sort of interference with nature.
No, they already have made up their mind that if we explain anything, it has to be from the naturalistic world. It has to be from a naturalistic process. Yes? And this is what they have indoctrined, yes, people like this gentleman and other atheists and other agnostics in this world today. Because what they do is they have told them there is no way that God could have done this, so you need to explain it through the natural process, otherwise you're fired from the university. You cannot be a professor, you cannot be on the board, you cannot be anything. And this, to me, this is not open-mindedness. Okay? The open-mindedness that they seek from us, they don't give this opportunity to the people who believe in God. They don't. Unfortunately. At least the religious people, you know, people who believe in religion, they have no problem with science as long as the science doesn't impose on them that the only way is the natural process and you cannot have God in the equation. That's all. So who has more open mind? The religious people or the scientists? I think it's the religious people.
That's a science organisation.
No, every university, every top university, yes, they don't accept you unless and until you said, oh no, I can explain this through natural processes.
Accept an imam who didn't believe in God.
Do you know the definition of imam?
No.
You know what he just asked me? Would I accept an imam who doesn't believe in God? He doesn't know the definition of imam. Because an imam, by definition, is someone who's knowledgeable about God and who believes in God.
Okay, so you wouldn't accept someone in...
What's the definition of a scientist?
In your organisation?
No, now you tell me what's the definition of a scientist.
Believe in Islam.
Yeah.
And the scientists in their organisation don't accept people, so what's wrong with that?
No. What is the definition of a scientist? Okay, does the definition include don't believe in God? Thank you. I'll rest my case. There you go. Some of the best scientists like Newton, yes, like Gregor Mendel, yes, like Ibn Haytham, all these people who believed in God, yes, they were scientists and beautiful. I mean, their discoveries, their what do you say, their postulations, they had these credentials of a scientist and a believer in God. So if you're going to tell me a scientist definition includes don't believe in God, I don't think that's a real scientist then. It just shows you're a close-minded, prejudiced person. That's all you are. So there you go. Anyway, thanks for your time, guys. I think we have talked a lot. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Don't forget to subscribe to Dawah Wise, Mansoor and Hashim's channel. Thank you.
Is it like a
There you go, brother. What was that?
Yeah, actually reading on Quran.com, it's not like, I don't really
You got a new one? Yeah. You lost it?
Yeah. Time to go home. You happy? You happy?
No.
You not happy? One video?
Okay, I know what not. How did you? ماشي خالي ممكن. Why? Why would you?
Whatever you sound, it sounds sound?
والملي قد ها يا ولدي ها ابو يمدي
By the way, thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks, man.
No offense,
yeah. ما حد عنده بجر